The playoffs are here, and you can predict the action all the way to the finals with FanDuel Predicts. Predict the spread, the total points, and even the game-winning moments that make the playoffs. Sign up and get a $25 bonus with FanDuel Predicts.
Offered by FanDuel Prediction Markets, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant. 18-plus bonus is non-withdrawable and expires 7 days after receipt. Trading derivatives involves significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with their consumer protection tools. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/predicts/bonus-offer-terms.
A disturbing reality that too few people are willing to discuss. And I would venture to say, with all due respect or even aware, as the World Cup kicks off on June the 11th, millions, literally millions and millions of fans from around the globe will gather in the United States in celebration. But alongside the excitement, alongside these festivals comes a much darker underworld that law enforcement and child advocates have warned about for years. The escalation of human trafficking, sexual exploitation, and the targeting of vulnerable children and women. So without further ado, I bring to the microphones my better half, Lynn Shaw from Lynn's Warriors. Good evening, wifey.
Good evening, husband, or good morning, depends how you're looking at it. Thank you for being willing to talk about this topic that we've been preparing for almost 3 years now. It is crucial that the public understand what is happening as the World Cup, all the excitement kicks off. So are you ready?
Well, yes. And in fact, you and I were, I think we're reminded of this constantly. And our message is going to be, don't get anywhere near Jersey or the tunnel or anywhere, because it's going to be a nightmare. But that notwithstanding, first question I think is the most important. Why do traffickers, or why is this idea that traffickers target major sporting events like the World Cup? Where does that come from?
We have to start with whenever there are crowds, people filing in, coming into cities, for not only, we're going to focus on the World Cup because this is the biggest sporting event, I think, ever across the United States, lasting 5 weeks. Whenever you have these massive crowds, we've never had anything again like this. You have the traffickers, the predators, because there's so much chaos. They can be much more anonymous. They are coming in by, the railroads, the planes, the buses, driving, ride shares. But let's talk about something. It's not only the World Cup. Let's point this out. Yes, this is a major sporting event like none other in the United States. But when you have conventions, when you have concerts, any other, football games, baseball games, wherever there's the crowd, because at this time hotels are packed, transportation systems are overloaded, overwhelmed. Lots of temporary workers will move in to work, for instance, on the World Cup. And so the traffickers, the predators, the creeps can blend so easily into the environment while exploiting so many kids, so many vulnerable people, and it goes largely unnoticed because so much is happening right under our noses. The public is busy with it. They're going into stadiums, or they're going here, they're going there. And on top of all of this, okay, people just don't want to face the reality. Like, if they did see something, what do I do? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll get in trouble.
And may I just add something? Do you think there's a component to this where people think that in the United States it's a free-for-all? Everything's up for grabs. No problem, no hesitation, no guardrails, no speed bumps, no speed limits. Just freedom, America, raw, Hollywood, New York, sex.
Yes. Well, listen, there's another reality happening. Again, I can't point it out enough, happening beneath the surface. We need the public now to understand, right? For almost 3 years now, we at the Warriors have been hearing about working alongside partner organizations, law enforcement, hotels, motels, banking, right? There's a lot of money involved. Even places, PayPal, Venmo, tracking everything, these ride shares, getting people to understand this is coming. And the thinking, and this is directly from law enforcement, is those coming in from other countries, and they are coming here. I mean, they are huge soccer fans across the world, right? It's like the number one sport. Their impression of America is, now this is directly from law enforcement telling us this, that America is a big free-for-all. You can do anything you want here, and you can get away with it, whether it's trafficking, whether it's drugs. No rules here, and that is the thinking, and that is what everybody is really scared of. And especially now, it kind of seems that way, that you can get away with anything. So this is a major event, a national, I dare say, a national security threat that we have going on, but we have good preparation that has been happening for the last several years.
Well, we have, remember years ago, remember Dominique Strauss-Kahn, and whenever the UN went, if you really, really want to see it, when we have the UN General Assembly that comes once a year, whenever there is the events like the Grammys or the Oscars or even the Met Galas, anytime there is a convergence from people from around the world and looking at the notion of foreign, where their idea of sometimes, frankly, I'm sorry to say this, but women being as chattel, that pays a part of this. Now, what are you hearing in terms of who are the most vulnerable targets and what can be done in view of that?
Let's start with something that I have to drill into Americans every single day. Human trafficking, comprised of sex trafficking, labor trafficking, okay? That is the use of force, coercion, getting somebody to do something against their will, mostly for money. Everybody in America, I shouldn't say everybody, most people in America, the public, they think it happens somewhere else, right? But it's happening here. It's happening, again, all across America. So here's the thing we want to talk about, the vulnerable targets. Obviously, kids, runaway youth. Runaway youth, there's always this argument out there, well, they're not missing kids. Runaway youth are missing kids and should be considered such. I remind everybody, a lot of kids have to run away. Their parent or parents or caregivers kick them out. They live in a household that is so abusive, they figure they're better off out on the streets. So runaway youth, everybody understand, are missing children. Foster kids, that is a whole other program. Vulnerable, right? Most adults I know have reported to me that when they were in foster group homes, youth homes, they were re-victimized, re-trafficked. That is a whole thing that goes on in that world. We've got, again, immigrants, right? They don't speak the language. They're here. They don't understand. And always, financially desperate individuals and people struggling emotionally or psychologically are often targeted. Those are targeted first, and people don't understand because a lot of people say, I would run away. Where are you running to? You're a 16-year-old. You're hungry. You need a roof over your head. Your brain's not developed yet, and you think somebody kind in another city or town, says, hey, can I help you out? Do you need directions? Oh, by the way, you hungry? I'll buy you a hamburger. It happens so fast. So I say, basically, yes, our kids are especially, and you can pick them out, who's vulnerable, who's walking around, who's looking around, who's checking a phone or just looks lost. But I say today, everybody is vulnerable under these circumstances. We had that story not long ago where the girl was with her father, this teenage girl, I think she was 14, at a sporting event, and she just went to the ladies' room, and then she disappeared. And the story was murky. She met somebody, while she went to the ladies' room. So it's all around us. Everybody is vulnerable with this. And the thing is, you've got to be eyes and ears, but we can get into that a little bit. But you've got to know what to do if you see something or something should happen to you or, family members you're with or friends.